I will say the Washington football team, we all know that Ron Rivera, coming from the Panthers and coming from Christian McCaffrey, he loves to run. He's a very run-heavy guy. But that is really going to be taken away from him because, you know, they got rid of Geis, they got rid of Adrian Peterson, so the running back position is really at a big question mark. And we know how much Ron Rivera loves to rely on the run. He's a very defensive guy, but then also he loves to have a workhorse of a running back that he might not have this season. But there is a guy that we are going to have to watch out for on the Washington football team's running back room. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video with me, Simone. Go ahead and turn on your notification bell, like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe because I'm trying to get 500 subscribers by the end of the month. You know I'm very ambitious. I love goals. Guys, let's talk about this week 1 matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington football team. Guys, first of all, just so pumped. I'm so pumped because football is back, guys. I come alive in the fall. I love the fall. Football season is here. It seems just like yesterday we had the Super Bowl. Time for some football again. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to get into this matchup because I think this is going to be a great game. Guys, also disclaimer, while you're liking and while you're commenting and while you're subscribe. I'm not a Falcons fan. This is my co-host Dylan's sign. I know a lot of people are like, why you got Falcons in? Eagles up, but that's my co-host Dylan. You see our Tough Calls videos, y'all know who's rocking with the Falcons on my channel. But let's get into this matchup with the Eagles versus the football team. First of all, guys, this is an NFC East matchup, and just number one, the biggest thing about this matchup is it's one that can't be slept on. It's the first game of the season, but it's a game that's going to count all the way until week 17, and that is because the NFC is so loaded, guys. All of the wild card spots are going to be so valuable this season, and when it comes down to the late weeks, we don't want to have any division losses on our record. We don't want to have any division losses on our record. The Washington football team, no division losses they want on their record either, so we want to make sure that these two teams can't sleep on each other. Basically, it's week 1. Obviously, the training camp period was busted. Obviously, there was no preseason, so the guys are going to be a little bit more rusty. But let's start out with who do I want to start with for defense, offense, defense? Let's start out with the Eagles defense versus the Washington football team's offense. So as we all know, unfortunately, Javon Hargrave and Derek Barnett, both the guys holding down the left side of the defensive line on the end and the tackle position, are questionable for week 1. So we're not 100% sure if they're going to be playing, but that is okay because the Eagles defensive line does have depth, and Josh Sweat and Malik Jackson are both guys that did well at training camp. Didn't get to see Malik Jackson last season because he spent all last season hurt, but Josh Sweat, he had a very good training camp. He will if Derek Barnett is not playing week 1, we most likely see Josh Sweat there on the end, and we'll see Malik Jackson taking over for the left defensive tackle for Javon Hargrave's position. And of course, we can expect to see Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham on the right side of the defensive line. Now, guys, of course, these guys can move around. All of these guys are very flexible. And like I said, Derek Barnett and Javon Hargrave might play week 1, but we're not 100% sure at this moment. But the Washington football team's offensive line is very young. They have a lot of questions on their offensive line, so it's interesting to see those matchups as well. So, of course, the Washington football team lost Trent Williams, so they have a lot of questions on their O-line, but right now, this is what their depth chart is looking like. Left guard, Wes Martin. Left tackle, Jaron Christian. Right guard, Brandon Scherf. Right tackle, Morgan Moses. I do want to add that Jaron Christian, young guy out of Louisville, he is going to be one of the X factors on the Washington football team's offensive line because he's going to be in the left tackle position, so he's going to be holding down Dwayne Haskins, but he is a very athletic guy, and the scouts had a lot of great things to say about him. Young, hungry guy, so we really can't count him out. However, I do see the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line totally dominating the Washington football team's offensive line. So I don't have that many questions there. I will say the Washington football team, We all know that Ron Rivera, coming from the Panthers and coming from Christian McCaffrey, he loves to run. He's a very run-heavy guy. But that is really going to be taken away from him because, you know, they got rid of Geis, they got rid of Adrian Peterson, so their running back position is really at a big question mark. And we know how much Ron Rivera loves to rely on the run. He's a very defensive guy, but then also he loves to have a workhorse of a running back that he might not have this season. But there is a guy that we are going to have to watch out for on the Washington football team's running back room. The Washington football team selected Antonio Gibson with their 3rd round pick. Guys, he is a wide receiver that can also play running back as well, so I think he'll be a huge X factor, and I think the Washington football team will use him very versatilely. Like I said, the running game is going to be taken away from the Washington football team a lot because of the fact that they got rid of AP, they got rid of Geis, and then their offensive line is young and unstable, and they're probably going to be working things out in week 1. But we can't sleep on Antonio. We can't sleep on. So we are definitely going to see Dwayne Haskins passing heavy, which might be a good thing, obviously, because Dwayne Haskins was so cheeks last season. But Dwayne Haskins coming to his 2nd year. The Washington football team has a lot of hate around them. Dwayne Haskins got so much hate. He might be coming out this season as like, you know what? I've been working on my game this offseason. Let me show you what I got. Now let's talk about the Eagles secondary and the Washington football team's wide receiver and tight end core. So the Eagles have Jalen Mills as strong safety, Rodney McLeod as their free safety, Vontae Maddox corner, Darius Slay corner, of course Nickell Robey-Coleman in that nickel position in the slot corner. Also, Kavon Wallace is going to be somebody to watch out for as well. The Eagles' 4th round pick out of Clemson. He is going to be a safety, and he is showing a lot of flashes of greatness, so he has to be watched out for. Now let's talk about the Washington football team's wide receiver core and who the possible matchups can be. So Washington football teams, we can see Steven Sims in the slot, which means he might be matching up a lot with Nickell Robey-Coleman. So that is going to be a matchup to watch out for. I do have Nickell Robey-Coleman really showing out, especially in week 1, because he is such a dominant cornerback, guys. I did a video kind of breaking down Nickell, so you can click and watch that video. I have that card here, so watch that. I definitely have Nickell kind of dominating there. And of course, the Washington football team has Scary Terry McLaurin. We definitely can see him matching up with Big Play Slay a lot of times. Of course, these guys are going to move around, but that is definitely a matchup I'm looking to watch out for. These guys matched up in the past when Darius was with the Lions. He matched up with Scary Terry, and those guys both held their ground. I wouldn't say one guy dominated the other. So that's definitely a matchup we have to watch out for. And Darius Slay is going to have to be on Big Play Slay and make sure he's locking down Scary Terry, because we know that's going to be a heavy target for Dwayne Haskins. Logan Thomas is going to be the starting tight end for the Washington football team, a former quarterback, so I think that will help him and Haskins' chemistry, because he will know like Haskins' tendencies and because he has that QB IQ. So we definitely going to have to watch out for him in the tight end position. We already know Rodney McLeod and Jalen Mills are in the safety position, so we can see them matching up with him a lot. But of course, like I said, these guys are going to be very flexible. Now let's talk about the Washington football team's defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Now the Washington football team is coming in with a very deep defensive line. We already know Montez Sweat. We already know Chase Young. We already know Ryan Kerrigan. But there's some other guys to watch out for as well. Darren Payne is going to be a huge X factor. I had to write him down in my notes. Jonathan Allen too. And these guys can mix and match on that defensive line. And the defensive line, I have putting a lot of pressure on Carson Wentz. I have Carson Wentz, of course, handling the pressure, but I have that defensive line putting a lot of pressure on Carson Wentz. But I don't think that will be the dominating factor for the Washington football team. I think their defensive line would definitely be the shining piece for them, but I don't have them dominating our offensive line. Even though our offensive line has a lot of questions, I think our defense is really going to win the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't see us getting off that much with the running game, just because, like I said, their defensive line is so heavy, so we can see our running game being limited, but that is fine because the Washington football team secondary really doesn't have that much going for them. We already know Ronald Darby. We know him, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not that much to look out for. Someone else we'll have to watch out for is Landon Collins. They're strong safety. So, of course, I see our tight ends really getting off early in week 1. Last season, we were a tight end-led team in receptions, of course, with Dallas and Zach Ertz. And I see our tight ends really getting off as well in week 1 because our Our wide receiver core, I wouldn't say have a lot. Yeah, we got a lot of questions. I mean, Jalen Rager's out. Alshon Jeffrey was just on the chopping block. Don't know like what he's going to be, if he's really going to be playing early. So I definitely see us relying on our tight ends. It's worked with us for us in the past, but we definitely going to have to watch out for Landon Collins. Yeah, this will be a great game. I'm loving this week 1 matchup. I'm so excited for week 1, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you think are going to be the big X factors? I definitely think Scary Terry is going to have to be watched out for, and I think Nikel Roby-Coleman is going to be the 2 X factors, or really just the guys that's going to be, really interested to see, really kind of not necessarily slept on, but you don't hear that much about those guys, but they're really doing that work. So I do have the Eagles defense dominating though this game. I have the Eagles defense definitely dominating, but I have Dwayne Haskins and the Washington football team really holding their own. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see in my next video. I'm so pumped for this season. I'm so ready for this season, guys. Can't believe it's finally here. I'm so glad we're gonna be rocking with each other all season long. So let me know what you want to see in my next video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you are there on Sunday. Thursday night, make sure you're there Thursday night, make sure you're there Sunday, make sure you're there Monday. We're gonna be rocking all season long. Bye.